black powder, no cannonball, and fired off in celebration. They be welcoming Native American leaders here for negotiations. New supply canoes are greeted by a blast of the guns. They even use these cannons to celebrate important holidays here at Michilimackinac. Holidays like the 4th of June, King George's birthday. This is a British fort, but there are no hard feelings. We'll still fire for you rather than at you. First thing we need to do is prepare for action. Get the cannon ready to go. Everything we need to fire is strapped to the gun, but we gotta take that stuff off before we can fire. The boxes they just took off are very important that you take off. Those are ammunition lockers. They're full of explosives. You don't want that next to the barrel as it's firing. One stray spark gets in there, and now you've got 2 exploding bombs. They're a bad day for the cannon crew. We also have some tools on the trail of the gun, and there were some coverings on the barrel itself. But now the cannon's ready to go. We just need to get our crew into position. Man out the piece. And as I said before, it takes over a dozen people to properly crew this, but you can do it as few as 3 people. It will just take more work on their part. So Patrick's going to tend our linstock, which is some burning match on a pole. That's how we're going to light it off. The first thing I'll tell them all is to take care. Just the attention commands. Stand up straight. More orders are on the way. 10 vents. Patrick will take his thumb and cover the touch hole at the back of the gun. This is going to make it a lot safer for those working at the dangerous muzzle end. Search piece. Landon will now run down the worm, that big corkscrew, see if he can pull out any solid debris. The charge him last. Have a bird. There's the water gun. We want nothing down there. Advance sponge. We also don't want anything hot down there. In battle with a full crew, you can fire this cannon incredibly quickly. An aim shot every 15 to 20 seconds. An unaimed shot as quick as every 5 seconds. That's quick, but dangerous. If there's something still hot down there and you run down new black powder, it's gonna go off, sending the ramrod along with Veronica's fingers flying into Lake Michigan. So make sure that doesn't happen. Sponge piece. We'll run down this wet sponge that will cool off the inside of the gun. It'll also create a vacuum inside there. You may have heard that light thunk noise as she pulled it out. Patrick's thumb there, the air gets pushed out but can't get back in, and that creates that vacuum. Inside a vacuum, there should be nothing burning. It is now safe to load, and finally time for me to do some work. Handle cartridge. I'll come back to our ammunition locker and grab one of our charges. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, we'll do. A historic charge would be 1.5 pounds of black powder in a flannel bag tied directly to the cannonball. We've got about 12 ounces of black powder in historically inaccurate tin foil, but nice and safe tin foil. Load! Landon will now place that into the muzzle of the gun. Once it's there, I can tell Veronica to ram down cartridge. She'll push the charge all the way to the back of the gun, give it a few hits, and put it right under where Patrick is covering up with his thumb. That way we'll be able to use that touch hole to create a fuse. Prime! I'll take a long brass needle, this one right here, and Patrick will take a tin on his waist and pull out a priming fuse. These fuses would have been tin tubes packed with black powder. We'll light the top of it, it'll send a jet of flame down and get everything else to go kaboom. We need to poke a couple ones up. That's good. At this point though, the cannon is primed and loaded. The next step though, if you had a cannonball in there, would be to take aim. This large wooden spike can be lifted up to the left or right, and under where Patrick was working is a large screw at the back of the barrel. As you twist that, they'll change the elevation or angle of the gun. We are now just about ready to fire. I do want to warn you all, this is a cannon. It can be quite loud, and I do highly recommend plugging your ears. I'm going to cheat and use foam earpieces. Your fingertips or palms will work perfectly if you so choose. Once I get these bad boys in, we've only got 2 more commands to fire.
You're such a great mom.
And those 2 commands are... Take ready! Fire!